I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're that does something for me. If I call you, if I just say that, again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
All right, guys, you're looking at the thumbnail. You're looking at the title of the video. Y'all already know what time it is. It is time to get active. Whoa, this is going to be a good conversation that we're about to have here today. Guys, let me describe why this conversation is as pivotal, is as interesting as what it's going to be. Essentially, you have Clash of the Titans, all right? You got Ali versus Frazier from an ideology perspective. But that's important because there's been a lot of growth within the male space, and it leaves a lot of people scratching their heads as to why. A fresh and fit scratches the itch or a need for a certain subset of dudes in a market that has been recently created. The idea of male-focused media to this degree wasn't really hit at this scale until the past few years. And what we've seen is content creators come in and to build platforms, which pushes the idea that yes, men want a space to be able to talk about men-ish as well. Now, right, wrong, indifferent, if you agree or you disagree with them, that's not what's going to be on the menu of this conversation today. I want to understand their talking points versus who they vehemently don't stand for, which is the ideologies of a boss bae. Right? The reality and the thinking of an independent woman. Brittany Renner stands for everything that a fresh and fit speaks about. And whether or not you guys agree or not, I actually think Brittany Renner is pretty smart. Like, we talk about her from time to time, but the only way that she's been able to maintain this relevancy outside of the suppleness of her hindquarters is because she speaks from a certain audience of women that agree with her, whether or not you like it or not. Why I think this is ultra interesting is because you have the heel versus the heel, right? This is the bad guys versus the bad guys. I don't give a we gonna keep on talking about this shit, whether y'all like it or not. We got this information, and these men love our podcast. They love what we doing. And you got Brittany Renner, who just, y'all, I'm gonna live how I live in my truth and all of the above, which is inherently very interesting. So we're gonna get into this discussion here today, guys. Also know this is that I'm not gonna play the visual in order to avoid any kind of copyright issues. I'll leave a link to the full podcast down in the description box down below. It comes from DJ Academics, Off the Record Podcast. Guys, this one, more than anyone, we need to break down the psychology of what's happening. So let's get active. Without further ado.
Fresh, great idea was don't tell Myra until today. So we walk in, you first see Brittany Renner, and we're thinking you're probably gonna be like, okay, shit, we're gonna have this great debate. But you said initially, you're like, I don't think there's much to really debate. Why?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We've always said it, like, men and women, we're very different. We have opposing goals. Like, girls are trying to, get resources, time, attention out of guys. Guys are trying to get sex. And girls, a lot of the time, are trying to get what they need to get out of dudes without necessarily giving it up. And some girls are good at it, some girls aren't. And then there's other girls that are kind of models for that are good at finessing dudes. And not to say that you're a finesser. I ain't saying that. But girls are able to, run laps around a lot of guys. And that's why our podcast exists, to help dudes out to understand, how women operate and how they move.
What Myron just did there is explain the surface level kind of entertainment value of the show. But let's get behind the lens of that. Average women today will waste an average guy's time way more often than the vice versa. And in turn, it's made a lot of modern men today resentful towards women. That's why if you look at what Fresh and Fit is doing, if you get down to the psychology layer of it, a Frank Castle, for example, can be viewed as retribution for what guys have been feeling for a long period of time. So it presents this negative feedback loop where guys can become resentful, and there's a lot of information that's shared, but the numbers get done on the Frank Castling type streams, and they can't keep their eyes off of this as a sense of retribution for what they might have experienced in the field. And they keep returning and returning again based off of that dynamic. Now, it's not to say that you should accept disrespect from those that come on, but I mean, you continue to have a loose invite system because you know that those turn up the numbers. But a key question to ask, and this is not necessarily for Fresh and Fit because they're going to absorb the increase of the dollars of the extra entertainment that comes, but for the man that's watching, what does that say about your mental state if you get a rise out of kicking bitches out?
Hey, where do you think she fits in that? Because, you know, I think her point of view would be diametrically opposed to you guys by saying, well, I'm not the exact typical person who you may think dudes are running into or you're trying to tell people to stay away from.
I mean, well, sure, she could tell. She was saying that we're wrong, I guess, about that.
Well,
so you tell us a little bit about yourself. Then.
No, I think you know more about me than I do myself. So you're saying
no,
obviously you do though, because you said that you warn guys about girls like me. So tell me about girls like me.
Just
Humor
women
me.
in general. Like, I mean,
don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here
This is an off-camera conversation.
that you did say that
That's true.
you warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
Uh-oh.
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special.
Like,
So-
you're like other women that are
So
like...
what makes you special then?
I never said I was. But you're trying to say, well, what makes me different from... Like, a lot of women operate the way you do. Which
And
is,
how do I operate?
in general, what I just said before, women, it's a dance between the two genders. Men are trying to get sex. Women are trying to get resources, time, attention, whatever it is that they're looking for. And a lot of girls play the game better than guys. We talk about this openly on our podcast. And we're teaching guys how to not necessarily get finesse and get what they want out of girls, which a lot of the times is intimacy, but they're not able to get it. But girls are easily able to obtain money, time, resource, attention, whatever it is. Girls are running laps around dudes.
This I disagree with. I think that it's popular to completely agree with this. And I understand that Myron said generally. To me, it's generally with a big fat asterisk at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, there's a certain type of dude that generally is looking just for sex. And yes, there's generally a certain type of woman that is looking for resources. But I'd argue out of the both that they are damaged people if they prioritize sex at the top and you prioritize getting resources at the top for both men and women. It don't mean that men don't want sex as governed by the testosterone that pumps throughout my body. It also doesn't mean that women don't look for and date up, as what evolutionary biology has taught us. Hypergamy is absolutely a real thing. That's why I don't push and talk about sex on this channel, because I understand. And at the end of the day, it's just a hole in someone else. Men should not be prioritizing sex. They should be prioritizing the things that need to get done in their life and then open themselves up to the potential of opportunities going into the future of worthwhile women. Continue to date within that time so you can understand the key fundamental concepts of their nature, of game. Because if you lack in any of these areas, a piranha of a woman, one that knows how to leverage her nature, leverage her viscous innards, leverage your emotions, will take advantage of you. Along with it being damaging, I think that it's really not true. When I have one-on-one time to chat with these guys, it's all about things that they can do in order to attract for something a little bit more meaningful within their life. Now, shit, even look at my Zoom to Thailand video and look at the dudes in the comment sections going off when they see a beautiful, feminine, inspirational woman treating a man as how a man should be treated.
Do you believe that Brittany has been effective in extracting, as you say, time, resources, and other things out of dudes?
Yeah, to a degree, sure. Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of girls want to do... I mean, here's the thing. You've been so adamant about me being incorrect, and I don't know, and you don't know me, and all this other stuff. Tell me then. Maybe we're off. Who knows?
Well, I think, first of all, let's bring it back a couple notches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So... there's really a lot to unpack here, because my first question to you is, what do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
I'm so confused. He asked her to explain her story and she completely switched up on it. So there's some reason why she doesn't want to speak about her story. I wonder if it's because she recognizes that they'll be able to pick her story apart as it relates to the content on their channel. So she's going a different route with that.
I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me, right? If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable, what does that do for me? No, but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying, what if I call you? If I just say that again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it. Right? That's how I feel. Right. But so that's fine. But for me, that's okay if it wasn't a fit for me. But I also don't need to, you know, in a way kind of try to devalue what you guys have going on. Because at the end of the day, I may not agree with anything you guys talk about. Because honestly, I feel like when you've seen 2 or 3 videos, you've seen them all. But the reality is that I went to your guys' page and I went to the different links and the different services and the courses that you guys offer. And I do see that there's a place for that. So even though it may not have been in alignment with what I am about, I can still give credit where it's due without trying to devalue you guys, because you guys are doing something special, right? Because you guys are, I mean, are there a lot of other people doing what you do? You could consider your guys' podcast special, right?
Hold on, let me pause it right here. DJ Academics is a goddamn genius. Let me tell you guys why. The clip that he posted on his Instagram was cut up in a way to look like Brittany was absolutely saucing Fresh and Fit. And the reason why he's doing that is DJ Academics' audience is way different than Fresh and Fit, right? There's some crossover appeal there, but the audience at a fundamental level is different. You know who more so aligns to DJ Academics' audience? The Shade Room. So of course, Academics is going to post something that these typically female generated publications or news sources or online outlets, what their users typically want to see. And their users hate Fresh and Fit. So of course, Academics is going to post a clip of where it seems like she's winning. Now this full clip comes out and it's edited in a way where it doesn't seem like she was just berating them.
I think what she's mentioned is like the self-help portion for dudes, where you guys offer services to, you know, help guys, you know, either attract or you know, try to talk to women and really engage with them at a higher rate that you could, you know, potentially date them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the point that I think she's disagreeing with, right?
I'm simply asking her to tell us about herself because we were so incorrect. So tell us about yourself. That's all I'm saying. And then she went into attacking us. And
no one's attacking you, because like I said, listen, there's a lot of people that will not sit down and have a conversation with you just because of the comments that you guys made. Well, you made. And well, you chimed in, so you guys are Tweedledee and Tweedledum kind of, right? So I'm here to have a conversation with you guys, because for me, I feel like what a lot of male-dominated podcasts are missing is the bridge of understanding. So I came here not to argue you guys or to call you out of your name or to disrespect what anybody's doing, because I felt like the interview I had with him, there were things that he said I didn't agree with, but I wanted to sit down and hear his point of view. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So for you to say you're not special, well, I'm special to someone, just like you're special to someone, just like he's special to someone. So for you trying to generalize all groups of women, then we would have to take it back to where this even began. Like why you even have this view of women. And like I said, you have a bunch of dumbass bitches on your guys' podcast, and I get it. They don't challenge you. And I know you're a really smart guy, but it's like, I feel like you need to kind of just be honest and show people who you really are.
Honestly, here, I think she's taking "you're not special" out of context. It's not that they're saying that, you know, you're not a unique butterfly of a particular person, but that what they see from your characteristics is what they see of the women that they speak about for the audience that they speak to. The fact is today is that many modern women today do feel entitled to deserve something irrespective of the choices and or decisions that they are making in their life, irrespective of where they are placed on the dating marketplace, but they still want and expect the top 1% man. And a lot of modern women get it misconstrued because they look at the IG models or her personality type and continue to live in some truth and want average men to accept their average asses. For many modern men today that are now in the dating marketplace, what is typically out there for them is not fair deals. But on the flip side, it's actually a wicked system because you have so many of these weak, indoctrinated, entitled men in society that will spend hours in a day leaving peach asses, heart emojis, and liking photos like a Brittany Renner.
Like, I know that for people to be dragging you guys and say,
there was a cut there.
This little clip and say that's who you are, that's not true. So that's why I sat down and had this conversation. I'm not here to degrade you. So when you make comments, I'm saying when you make comments like, oh yeah, no women are special. So no woman is special, but yet you guys have a whole podcast dedicated how to get women just for sex. That's all you guys are. So you're saying men are just...
They didn't say women are not special. They said you are not special.
Just limited to just sex. That's all they care about is sex. Yes or no? That's all you guys care about. There's no emotional need. It's just my dick, cum, sex. I want a hole.
Yeah.
Wow, you are triggered, man. Wow.
I think also
She wanted a whole
No,
rant right there.
honestly, it's just I speak with conviction.
So,
Yeah, I mean, for you to say girls like me,
Myra said she was triggered there. To me, that didn't really look triggered. But again, there was a cut in there of her talking. So maybe went a lot longer and had a lot more context to why he said triggered within that. But let's keep going.
I'm just like, okay, well, I'm assuming if I go off of what people have said about me, I'm a gold digger who finessed my boyfriend who I lived with and wanted to marry me and still would want to have more kids with me if I wanted to stay with him. I finessed him, and I guess I'm a gold digger. And so all girls
right,
like
let's
that.
bring this back full circle because you're speaking with a lot of emotion right now, and to be honest, you're not really making a point. I said at the top, men and women, it's a delicate dance between the two genders to get what they want. Correct? I said men want sex, women want resources, attention, money, time, whatever it is from a man. It changes per girl. Some girls want money, some girls want attention, some girls want time, some girls want a hot guy, whatever it is. But there's a multivariate requirement from women of what they want. And men typically it's just sex. So in that regards of intersexual dynamics between men and women, I'm saying you're not special because you're like every other girl. You want to get resource, time, attention, or whatever it may be, commitment from a man, and a man wants to get sex from you. So when it comes to that, we're talking about biology of what men want from women. You are not special. You are just like every other girl, just like I'm every other guy. The difference is this. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm special. I'm Myron Gaines. I can do this and that. We said all the time, city boys up, ba-da-da. Like, we don't sit here and try to make ourselves look special. We're regular guys. We want sex. It is what it is. But women run around and say, I'm special. I'm different. It's like, nah, bro. Y'all don't live in reality a lot of times. You guys say, I deserve that. I deserve this. I'm special. Someone looks at me as special. Like, bro, at the end of the day, you're a woman. I'm a guy. You are playing the game to get what you want out of the relationship. I'm playing the game to get what I want out of the relationship or temporary relationship, whatever it is. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm special. That's what I'm talking about. You could say you're special in other regards, but I'm talking about between men and women. That is the game. That's how it is.
No, hold on.
Brittany actually looks kind of upset right now after he just explained that. I think when you speak at it at a general level, I understand what he's saying, but I think that there's unique audiences within there that can be exploited to believe these general characteristics for the sustainability or the continuation of an idea, an ideology through usage of the tool of a platform. But in modern times today, it's not all about that. And I can tell you guys this myself. If you just focus in on getting on the insides of a woman's body, then you will have an empty life into the future. Life is about relationships. Okay, it's about friendships. It's about people that you love being able to call you up at whatever time if they're going through something, or you can call them up to speak about not only good times, but bad times as well. And I maintain that the key aspects of being as happy as you can for the culmination of your life is not only building and retaining these fantastic relationships within your life, but also having a keen sense of what your purpose is or your meaning in life in delivering that purpose as well. But I wanted to talk about these quick things as well as continue to break down the psychology of what I see happening through the explosion of a men's sector that is at odds with the old guard. And it's so crazy because there's so much of the old guard, which is female dominated. And you have men in there as well that believe that bullshit of the old guard. And I think that Brittany Renner not only represents the old guard, but also the thoughts and ideologies of the modern woman today. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, what do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Leave a timestamp down below so I can see each and every one of your thoughts. This one's going to be a good one to have a conversation about. Until next time, YouTube, peace.